we've actually never seen Team Undying play Hoodwinky before. This is their first Hoodwinky game, so that's really
Really?
interesting. Yeah, no, they
Huh.
haven't picked it. They're just straight up doing this like against Quincy crew. This is their ace in the hole. That's a saying. I've definitely heard that before.
It's it's correct
Yeah.
usage. Well done.
Thank you.
Do you think it's a block pick? Because obviously MSS has played a lot of the Hoodwink, and I imagine Quincy probably would have been happy to have it as a 4.
Ooh.
I think so. It's a nice stunner to like play with the Viper in lane. I think it makes up for like what Viper lacks, which is mobility, running around, doing stuff, and actually stunning people.
See, the
TB
problem with
into
this
Viper.
Terrorblade pick, yeah, well, it's not just that. They don't really have any illusion clear right now, but you still have 2 picks to do so, right? I feel like Terrorblade last pick would have been, maybe it would have been banned though.
I guess this allows them to flex the Leshrac now into offlane mid, so they can use their last pick to potentially get a mid laner. But
I mean, it's good. Like, if you get this TB to like 3 items or something like that, I don't see what like a clock AA Viper is going to do to, like, if he's got a Scotty Manta like BKB or something like that. These heroes do absolutely nothing to a TB. Even Clockwork, if you hook the TB, you just spawn an illusion, and then the battery assault does basically no damage. So I think you need an answer for this. It's funny because we're talking about all the stuff that these Quincy crew heroes deny. It doesn't. None of them really deny the illusion heroes. So that's the one cheesy type of hero. Maybe there are other archetypes, but that is definitely one archetype that they were missing in terms of countering. So I think they need something now to deal with this.
AA Blast counters Sunder, right?
it does not, right?
No, it does not.
Yeah, I think that's what's
HP,
cool about
okay.
this TB pick is so many carries rely on like the satanic health regen, the agi carries, but TB is one of the few that doesn't really go satanic.
True.
He's got
Yeah.
Sunder, and this is one of the few carries that doesn't get at least soft countered by an AA.
That's actually got to be one of the reasons why AA is so strong. Like, now that you say it, like, that makes a lot of sense. That like Satanic is like the carry item in the late game now. Like, every single carry is going like Sanjin Yasha, Butterfly, Satanic. It's like, for God's sakes, that's been the build forever. But it's really good, and AA just makes it like you can't purge the AA blast like you can purge a Spirit Vessel. So yeah, that's maybe like if you could look at the win rate of this TB hero versus AA, it might have actually like compared to the other carries, it might be much higher in this patch if you could actually see the difference on Dota buff or something like that, just because of that non-satanic factor.
We've got a stats man, so he might be able to help us out once we get into the game. But
That's
Darkseer
very
stats
specific.
fan. Are you liking what we've seen from Quincy, the Darkseer response, putting Viper mid?
Well, Lyrical's gonna be real happy with this pick. I mean, it's a cool pick. I feel like I don't know why we see it more often. I feel like his Ags is really good now with the Ion Shell shenanigans. You have good late game always with this hero because, especially with Terrorblade, who has ridiculous stats. So just making illusions out of him is really strong, and he's just a very survivable offlane hero. Yeah, this does indicate that Viper will be mid, right?
I think.
Have we seen Yawar play Viper before?
Oh God, I mean, he probably could do it because he has played the Lesh, but I feel like Lesh, even though he is like an offline carry, he still plays fairly similar to a traditional carry and does damage like a traditional carry. Like, I think a Viper is way closer to an offlaner than it is to a carry when compared to something like a Lesh, which I see Yawar as like a very hard carry style of player. So Lesh isn't like too far out for him.
Well, Undying banning out Sven, they seem to think they're looking for a carry, and then you've got Quincy banning out some kind of cheese picks, the Brood, the Invoker less cheesy, but something that Undying are known to run, the mid Invoker. And they definitely, probably want to have that kind of space creating hero if they're going to be playing this hard carry TB. They need heroes that can kind of run around and make space. So
yeah,
we'll see what they do end up going for.
I like Juggernaut for Quincy. That's a Yawar hero. You got Magic Immunity versus Leshrac.
Good call.
Okay. And the fact that he couldn't Sunder through Blade Fury, and the fact that you can buy the Shard now on Juggernaut, so actually doing damage in Blade Fury is pretty huge for that hero.
Having the Lesh is nice, because I feel like a lot of times you talk about PL as the TB counter, but you've already got a Leshrac to deal with it. So instead, it's going to be just a classic Wraith King. Nothing spicy about this, but just going for a standard carry.
Yeah, that is really standard. I mean, there's no like big wombo that you're dodging. You're not really that good at clearing through the illusions. It's just like, okay, Darkseer will handle that, and Wraith King will just, kill everybody else in the late game. Fair. Maybe they also are going to be relying on Quinn to get some like illusion clear items, like early Mjolnir, that sort of thing. But what we need a mid or an off lane, preferably that like amplifies. Oh, they go for Doom.
Oh.
All right. That seems like more like a
Okay.
grimace over there, Suns fan. You're not liking
No,
the Doom.
I like Doom. I don't know what the purpose of him in this game is, though.
It's good against Darkseer.
Because Dooming was sure. But yeah,
Well,
typically you'll pick a Doom against something that just completely counters their carry or their mid, which it doesn't.
Wraith King is the hero that counters Doom.
Yeah, and you can surge away the Doom
exactly.
target too. Like it doesn't like chain purge or anything like that. That's
Doom has looked really good in some of the other regions. It's been one of like the prioritized offlaners in China at least, but something we just have not seen here in NA. And well, any final thoughts? Who you guys have for game number 1? Suns fan, I'll start with you.
I'll go with Quincy Crew.
Okay,
that's my reason. I'm going to go with Quincy Crew as well, Dakota. I think that they have stronger lanes, and I don't really think this Doom pick is all that great.
All right. Well, you've heard it there. I'm going to go for Undying because that's my reason too. And we're going to head to a quick break. When we come back, we've got 2 casters. It is Lyrical and PPD. We'll see you then.
Welcome, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, all you fine folks out there. We got game number 1. Peter, you look so crisp and clean in your beautiful camera. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. There's a Darkseer in the game. Can I tell you something?
That's your hero, huh?
I've played 27 Darkseer games in the past week.
What do you think?
I'm a fiend. It's a great hero. Obviously, otherwise I wouldn't be doing it anymore. Do you like the hero? You a fan?
I'm a fan of the hero when it's in a good game. I play to win these days. So, I do think it is a good game though. Direct counterpick to the Terrorblade. We've seen Darkseer a couple times as responses to these sort of like ranged, almost immobile agility cores, like Terrorblade in this game, but more commonly Medusa. I think Darkseer is also very good against. Just putting the wall on them in the mid game is like, the illusion just owns, right? It's so good.
Yeah. It's really cool. And we are having a quick pause right now, waiting for the rest of, I'm not sure if there's a disconnect or what, but there's some issue going on. But we'll get into that game in a second. But yeah, I think that's a really, you saw this Terrorblade pick. Undying had taken Leshrac for themselves. And then there was this question, okay, how do we deal with it? Let's go to the tried and true classic answer, which is the Darkseer wall. That Doom last pick, though, feels like that threw me a little bit for a loop. Do you talk a little bit about why you think that they went for this Doom here?
Well, I think, I don't know, people like it against Darkseer, sort of, because if you lane the Doom against the Darkseer, the Doom can just get like crazy farmed, right? He can even go Hand of Midas first item, or just rush early phase boot drum plus BKB and be a real force on the map. Picking it into Wraith King and AA doesn't make a lot of sense to me, so I'm also just kind of sitting here curious, waiting to see how this last pick works out for them. Not personally a fan, but I'm open to learning.
Okay, well, we can always learn a little something from watching 2 of the best teams in this region for sure. Duke it out here again. What could be the final match of the NA DPC, depending upon if Undying are able to pull this one out and force tiebreakers.
Saberlight's walking into 5 right now.
Uh-oh. Didn't see him go past, and they're going to go for the little wraparound here. It kind of feels like Undying might have an idea this is going on. And Tomato, actually.
I don't think they do.
going to run into him. Oh, no, the body block's coming in. The stun is out. MSS right on top of him. But they're able to catch him. Force back. I don't think it's still going to be enough. With MSS having that iron shell on him. Tries to go for the deny, but it won't happen. Quinn gets first blood.
Yeah, nice move from Quincy Crew. Starting game 1 off with some momentum. Doing that, getting up there is 5 early. Obviously a conscious decision. And yeah, getting an opportune first blood.
Now, because of that, we do see Lelis TP to bottom as we're taking a look at mid there, the Lesh versus Viper matchup. But that means since he TP'd, they can't dodge this lane. It's going to be Saberlight versus him.
Yeah, I don't think it's too bad. I think Doom gets a lot of farm, but like we were kind of saying, I'm not sure if it's really that great of a Doom game. So I'm not sure how much work he's going to be able to do, and if he does have a lot of net worth. He is, he is still 1v2.
Ooh.
At least for now.
God. That's a lot of harassment that they can lay into him. We'll see if they can get any pulls off and sort of put him in an awkward position. But this does mean it's a full-on tri lane up here, trying to secure this TB as farm, and Tomato should have a free time.
Yeah, I think my concern, once again, is just like this is such a bad tri lane for Radiant. We kind of saw this in saw Sad Boys play a few weeks ago. They had like a Warlock plus Lion aggressive tri lane that just didn't work out. I feel like these heroes just kind of lack synergy. They lack stuns and slows to let them all three connect with their right clicks, right? They have 2 melee heroes basically with Terrorblade, Abaddon, and a Hoodwink who, sure, he can do the stun, but what's the follow-up? You know, how do you convert these stuns into kills?
Absolutely. It feels like you're just sort of plinking them down, and I do like taking Reflection here at level 1 for Tomato to try and get that extra harass in, but, you know, 28-second cooldown. We'll see if he can sort of keep up that continued pressure, or if they can secure the pull too, since right now that is blocked out, I think, just by that sentry ward there. As Moon makes the rotation over. Oh, he's just going to stack. Okay, interesting. And then secure the rune. So trying to help out his mid a little bit here, it looks like, although Bryle is being bullied back by Quinn. Haven't really talked about it yet. 8-2 versus 6-3, going for the kill and will get it.
This is the CC&C Viper. People have been banning this hero for a reason, I guess.
Jeez. That's scary.
They're going to get on your war top here. Yep.
Ooh.
It's like I'm getting level 2. It's just enough. Like, this meta is just so strong. I was kind of surprised he didn't take it at 1, but this is a bit of a better timing for them, I suppose. And with that kill, and he has this advantage, meta is going to be down. Hoodwink goes bottom to, start pulling.
Okay. Saberlight might be in some trouble here, as level 3 on Darkseer means level 2 Ion Shell. Good amount of damage laid out, about half his HP pool. Will be forced to use that salve. And it looks like, again, this should turn into afterwards, some scary stuff potentially if they can sort of isolate these targets. I guess Saberlight's got a lot of HP though.
Yeah, he's got good health regen too. He's got a Bracer and he's got Scorched Earth for when he's in big trouble. It's going to be... Doom is good in this lane, I do believe. So they should both be farming pretty well. But I think Darkseer is very happy in these lanes where he gets to split farm, because usually Darkseer, it's pretty easy to like deny creeps against Darkseer. So usually Darkseer loses his lane. But it's that mid-game tempo, right? Surging the clockwork when he's got a couple levels. That's like kind of where he makes up for it. And then obviously he's got great team fight with the Wall of Replica.
Right. Yeah, that stuff's good for sure. Surge forward there to snipe the courier. Nicely played. Leslau pulling the creep wave past afterwards while Saberlight's just farming underneath his tower. And this should actually not going to be able to connect up with the creep wave. So instead, he's going to have to farm it out, as well as this camp here. So trying to get whatever farm he can as Bushwhack comes in, but there's nothing really afterwards.
Yeah, lanes in general are pretty even. I think the lane that I'm really worried about, which is usually the lane you're not supposed to worry about, is your mid lane. And with this dominant Viper pick, he's going to get level 6 here pretty soon. And Bryle might be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, scary stuff for sure. God, Quinn is just like up in his face right now. Full level ahead of him and about to get level 6 like you're talking about.
Yeah, he did get the first blood, which gave him an earlier bottle than Bryle. But then also I think there was just a bit of outplay on that first death for Bryle there. And now he's just in a tough spot.
Oh, MSS gonna run into Moon Meander yet again. Battery assault, cogs are there. And the slow, steady beatdown doesn't have the Ion Shell, so we'll see if they might actually just get this kill.
Oh
Moon in trouble, and he's gonna fall.
Not good. The panel was kind of talking about how they sort of stole this Hoodwink away from Quincy crew, right? MSS has been playing a ton of it. We hadn't seen Undying play it yet, but looking, Moon Meander really struggling this game, especially so far.
Yeah, not looking great. We'll see if he's going to be able to sort of come back later on and maybe make some sick bushwhacks happen or something. But right now, definitely a struggle.
Yeah, the hero's just not much of a roamer. It really just wants to sit in a side lane and play there, all the time. And he needs at least boots or a windlace or something before he just wants to start roaming the map. He ported bottom because he didn't feel like he could do anything top, but I think that was more so a problem with their original idea to even aggressive tri lane in the first place with Abaddon and Hoodwink supports.
Ooh, Dubu getting
they're
gone
gonna
on,
get him
but
there.
instead it's the turnaround. You are maybe out a bit too far. And do they have enough to find that kill? 14 HP, Moon gets the finish. So went out a bit too far there on that attempted kill for the ABBA.
Yeah, I think he was expecting it just to be 2 heroes, but Moonmeander with that roam, you know, just walking back top with no TP, was able to be a difference maker.
You can see Bryle here had to sit and fountain for a little bit. Quinn's actually gonna immediately deward the ward placed down as LOA will drop up top. So deward's the ward that Bryle brought in, and now keeping this catapult alive.
Yeah,
this is a ton of damage.
Level 8 versus now going to be level 6. Bryle's tower did take a lot of damage, however, it's not dead, and he will now have his ultimate if he wants to go jungle. And Moonmeander did stack at least 1 camp for him. There's not any other stacks, but at least he doesn't have to lane against this Viper to continue his game.
Right. I don't know who's going to, though. Like,
No
who the
one
hell can come mid?
No one's going to. They can have a Baden or Hoodwink kind of like sit behind the tower and try to draw creeps, but losing this tower isn't really the end of the world for Radiant. As long as their side lanes are still stable, which I would say they are. Terrorblade and Doom are both still farming their side lanes. Mid lane's unfortunate, but it's not that big of a deal. And Viper is a hero that always kind of gets that good early start because he's so dominant in laning phase. What you need to abuse is just his immobility. So just kind of making plays happen on your side lanes and forcing Viper to rotate a lot around the map is his weakness. And Quinn is going those bots first, which does make up for that kind of slowness around the map, but it's still something you can exploit with this hero.
Okay. Well, that'll be something that, you know, they try and do is see if they can catch him out. And on the other side of the map, Leslau has made the rotation, and actually Tomato, he has Sunder available, going to be forced to use it now as the vacuum back to get the Cold Freak proc. Doesn't quite connect in time, so they'll back away, getting some pretty good damage out there and able to force the Sunder.
Yeah, so if the laning phase is pretty much over now, the side lane cores have abandoned their lanes and are going elsewhere. You can see Radiant really wants to continue the fight on the side lanes with their heroes, whereas Dire, you know, this Wraith King, after that second death, he just wants to farm and play catch up. So,
right.
Will they take the fight to Viper? Probably not too soon. Maybe wait for their supports to get level 6 before they try to kill him. But I definitely expect them to start fighting here pretty soon while Wraith King's AFK jungling.
And they're looking for it, actually. They are trying to get this fight in. Clockwork is nearby as Saberlight breaks the smoke. They reveal, and that gets Quinn away from the gank attempt.
Yeah, it's really bad for Radiant that this gank wasn't successful. They chose to, I mean, they did defend their mid tower, which is nice, but I feel like it's just going to die eventually anyways. And what has happened as a result is the AA has gotten a free level 6 up top, and he's actually picking up a bit of farm, which is going to be really helpful for him. And when they probably should be just focusing a lot more of their efforts into just pushing this top tower.
Right. Yeah, and, I mean, we'll see if they try and do that now. Bryle is making the move up here.
This ward has been owning from SVG.
Yeah, it's really good. Man, I mean, we'll see. Like, if LOA can hold this tower when you have 2 cores up here and Dubu, like, it's just not a good time.
Oh, they're going to fight it too. Clockwork is not level 6 though, but maybe he's going to let Clock leech and... it looks like he just wants to bait, right?
Yeah.
Viper does have bots now, so he can definitely be up here for this defense. A level 6 Clock though.
Down bottom, they're keeping this pressure on here as the GP's
Viper.
going to come in. Looking for it. LOA has that level 6. Bryle, got to be careful and get the hell out of there. And MSS keeps the vision on him. And it's just a dead Lesh. Done. Damn, dude. They are making moves. Can they find a punish, though? Down bottom. Uar does have that level 6. Hasn't leveled up his ultimate yet. But has a full mana pool, and actually he's going to go for it now. Leslau in the area as well. Has the surge, uses it a little bit prematurely, and this might set up for the kill after the fact as the break comes out. Trying to walk out of there. No surge afterwards. They don't have Ice Blast either. He's doomed. He's just done. So a good rotation coming from Undying as they manage to find that kill on the Wraith King.
Yeah, both teams are getting a little sloppy there. Not bringing numbers and getting outnumbered basically by the enemy team's towers. So all 3 towers still remaining for both teams at the moment, which is a bit surprising. 10 minutes into the game.
a little bit, you know, it feels like you're just sort of seeing people want to AFK farm. And speaking of which, you can see these stats here. A couple of those cores definitely knowing how to do it, as LOA does pop the ulti, connects onto Brile, but there's no follow-up afterwards. And even Tomato buying the tome. So, yeah, they're really trying to just get him up to where he needs to be.
In games like this where the towers don't die early, it benefits the team that scales better into the late game. You know, basically because there's no towers down, this means it's going to be a pretty slow game overall.
Right.
And I feel like maybe you can favor Terrorblade in a game like this. I think that Radiant definitely has something going for them at the moment, and this early game has not really been that bad for him at all. If you take a look at the net worth, obviously you have Doom on top. He's kind of a net worth sponge, but Terrorblade is way more farmed than Wraith King, and it's only really this Viper on top who doesn't really do that well against illusion heroes in the mid to late.
True.
They're trying
looks like they're not going to catch him here either, I don't think. Yeah. In fact, Quinn is the one that's being caught here for a moment. A lot of damage out onto him as Moon eventually drops before the threshold. What was that?
It's just hoodwink things, you know.
Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, they're in there for a moment, trying to find themselves a quick and easy kill. Saberlight. Yeah,
Saberlight went for a solo play. Got himself killed to that clockwork. This guy is level 8 now, almost 9. MSS is going to be a beast this game. Yeah. Got the Darkseer to buff him up as well.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe a force.
And Leslow's going straight for that Aghanim Scepter on this Darkseer. So... you know, sometimes this can be a little bit greedy, but feeling like he can do it in this game, and I mean, giving just that extra HP and all the damage over time that comes out, I mean, it's gonna rip through the Terrorblade for sure.
Oh yeah, and he's got the perfect partner, right? He's got a Wraith King and a Clockwork, and I think this Clockwork is such a good Clockwork game. I think it's really good at locking down and killing the Leshrac, obviously, but also the Hoodwink, who's sort of an elusive hero, but really struggles with the cogs unless he has alters up and he can knock himself out. But I also think it works really well against a Baden, and that's because Clockwork is one of these heroes that modifies your enemy's like positioning and mobility, right? They can't leave cogs, therefore a Baden's aphotic shield doesn't actually remove the disable.
That's a good point.
Yeah, because you can't remove the cogs. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It's a bit of a weird one.
Yes.
It's like Sprout.
It's the same as Sprout, and it's the same as like Tusk with the Ice Shards. Like a Baden isn't really that good against those heroes because they're not really removing a debuff. Oh, hookshot missed on mid lane. That's going to be Saberlight living because of that.
SS getting comfy, a little bit too comfy, throwing out that hookshot. I think he didn't even throw the flare for it, but regardless, manages to escape on the Doom.
Yeah, so
6 to 7 down bottom. A chance. Ice Blast is coming in afterwards. This is going to be a dead Lesh. Most likely, it's not quite on the mark. Instead, hits the other heroes as Quinn chasing in on the Moon Meander, still taking a lot of that diabolic damage.
This isn't too bad though. I think CCNC's game has really slowed down. He's gotten these bots and this Dragonlance, but his farm is, he's getting caught up to, right? You see this Terrorblade constantly pushing over him, Doom catching up, Lesh catching up. I think Radiant is getting a lot more of the map, and I feel like it's the farm speed between Terrorblade and Wraith King that's making a lot of the difference at the moment.
Right.
But they're on the Terrorblade.
Can they kill him? Moving on in, Aphotic Shield afterwards. Still has Sunder available. This is not an easy kill. In fact, they're going to have to turn their attentions on to Dubu, whose ulti gets popped, and now everybody wrapping around, vacuum into the hook shot afterwards. Cogs catches onto both of them. Duar moves on in, wants to get some extra damage, and Quinn trying to back away. The haste, or the surge rather, will keep him alive. And Yuar turning, ulti going to be popped afterwards. MSS already going down. Saberlight barely able to live through this one as Brile will eventually fall. So the tally is Clockwork for the Lesh.
Yep, nice timing there by Quincy crew, recognizing that Terrorblade did not have meta, able to take a 5v4, essentially. Terrorblade kind of showed up, but didn't really do that much. But Radiant fought well. They managed to save their Doom just barely, which would have been a huge kill for Dire. And yeah, the only casualty was the Lesh, who is, kind of just like suicide farming this game. And I don't think it's that bad for them.
Okay. Yeah,
Wraith King ult did go on cooldown again there, so he's going to be chilling. That's like dying twice on Wraith King before level 2 ult, right?
Yeah,
that's a lot of time. Like, I don't think you want to use your ult twice before 12 usually.
for sure. He did go for this armlet build, now going back for the Radiance afterwards. And as you mentioned, that's sort of going to be one of the things that is stalling on his farm. But he's still not that far behind the Terrorblade, only about 400 gold or so.
Yeah, but I think Terrorblade sort of counters his hero a lot. Like you can steal the auras, right, with the reflection, and Terrorblade can only hit one target. He is going to go this Radiance, but he's going to be really squishy, even though he does this. Sometimes you'll see this armlet build. A lot of times they go into Desolator. That's more of like a, I'm active, I want to fight, I want to push towers. My team lost early game. I need to contribute, sort of a build. And it might not be enough to stay up with this Terrorblade, who I think is quite the counter.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, we'll see if they're able to make the most use out of these other heroes, the Darkseer, the AA. It's not perfect, for sure. Going to run into some issues. Right now, at the very least, though, it's a smoke rotation moving in. Smoke hits, they had an inkling, and you will back out.
First item BKB for Saberlight, so Radiant wants to fight.
Yeah. Trying to get involved here, for sure. Quinn queuing up his own BKB after getting that Dragon Lance. Anything else that's really changing? I guess MSS, when he gets his Blade Mail, will be pretty good.
Yeah, Blade Mail is good. Ag Scepter for Darkseer is pretty huge. I really think if Wraith King wants to go this Radiance, I feel like that's your timing for Quincy crew. Sure, they can make stuff happen, and they might be able to squeak a kill out onto Terrorblade with some, with a clever smoke gank, but it also could just turn right around on them if he manages to get Sunder off.
Right. Yeah, it can absolutely just flip the script there in a moment. And, well, trying to farm out more of the map than the Dire is at the moment, or rather than the Radiant is, as there hasn't really been another concerted move. I'm not sure if they have any smokes left or not, but kind of annoying not to be able to make a fight happen when you get that BKB done.
Yeah, it's not ideal. Doom will be able to keep up and farm, though, with the Devour build. I'm sorry, it doesn't have max Devour, but still, Devour is going to be useful for him keeping up. But yeah, but definitely not ideal. I feel like their timing has to be BKBs, right? At least for Leshrac. And Terrorblade's got one queued up as well. I think Dire's lineup is kind of hard to fight into if you don't have a BKB.
It's true.
So they can't really just like walk up hills, because if there's 3 or 4 heroes there, they're gonna explode.
True. Yeah, definitely. Dubu can walk up hills a little bit, but might get punished for it. His ulti gets off, but they pull him back to the other side of the cogs. Nicely done there by Leslau, as the beatdown will continue, and eventually they get the finish. 200 gold away from Ags on that Darkseer.
Yeah, I'm trying to see how is this happening. Like, I feel like Radiant is getting all 3 of their lanes pushed in, which is very good for them, and they're farming all of their neutrals. But I mean, here, Wraith King is getting his Ancients, and he's probably gonna they're not gonna respawn at 19, so he is missing out on a bit of, or Dire is missing out on a bit of net worth in this last couple minutes.
Yeah.
And
they might
found
match
the
up
Lesh
with it,
top.
though.
He's got no friends, but they're porting
Does have a Yules, and it looks like Quincy are going to back out. So they forced a lot of rotations. Oh, Bryle gets hit.
That's okay.
It's not gonna be enough.
Baden shows pretty nice for Sael.
Yeah.
The heal, not as good.
Still, a lot of heroes forced to that top side of the map, while Quinn's going to farm out the jungle that they're going to be following him through. And some pressure on towards mid now. Looks like the Illusion's going to come in to try and soak that up. Still not taking this mid tower. Hasn't been great for Quincy crew.
It's a slow game. If you don't take these towers early enough, it just becomes, can you push it without having a BKB? And sometimes that's just not possible. And you can see like everybody in this game is, buying their initial kit, 1 or 2 items before kind of going into this BKB, and that's why I think Doom maybe going to BKB first item was just too early. He could have maybe gotten drums, or maybe even gotten a Midas. To be honest, like this is such a farm game.
Yeah,
I feel like he could have Midas BKB already at this point.
Looks like Dubu's gonna go down yet again.
Space
as the
God
ulti popped. He's fallen. He's just going down there now, and maybe towards mid with the Ags on Leslau, they can feel comfortable pushing this.
Everyone is just getting to their items here. Viper's getting closer and closer to BKB, and Wraith King is 100 gold away from his Radiance. So Dire is going to be online, I think, starting now. Now Radiant is still missing about 1,000 gold on Terrorblade. and a decent amount of gold on Leshrac as well. So I feel like they're going to want to continue to dodge until they hit this next item timing, which is their 2 BKBs.
See if they can dodge effectively enough, or if it's even something that they want to do. Like you said, it's dangerous going into this without those BKBs. And you are also queuing up his next as well. Hit some pretty nice timings. By that point, Terrorblade should be much more formidable, though, you would imagine.
Exactly. I think once Terrorblade has the BKB, he is the kind of the boss of the fight, and I think that Dire is going to have to do like the, force the BKB, then kite it, or force meta, then kite that sort of play style. If they just try to man up and take a 5v5, I think they'll lose against Radiant's lineup.
Well, in the meantime, a missed hook shot, and now trying to push down bottom to secure this outpost.
Saberlight is in pretty deep here. He's trying to defend his tower.
He's a little wild.
Ags finished on Darkseer as well.
Okay, Saberlight gets hit. Has the hoof stomp afterwards, trying to bring him down. The bushwhack afterwards. Bryl's gonna die to Quinn, and Ywar is just gonna walk away. Ice Blast, oh, the vacuum wall afterwards absolutely demolishes. And now, living through it, can they get this kill on Ywar? He gets the armlet toggle off.
Terrorblade's here. He's finally got his BKB, guys. It's time to fight.
Oh, but they're already dead.
They're already dead.
Jeez.
Well, that's okay. It's, they lost maybe they're going to lose the tier 2 tower. Yeah, they're definitely going to lose their bottom tier 2 tower, but might be able to get something back.
Looking for it here. They get the bushwhack, able to catch, and Broken taking a lot of damage. Hook shot afterwards. BKB gets off from Tomato. Has the mana for Sunder. BKB afterwards from Quinn, though. Has to go for the play on the moon.
What a snipe.
Oh my god, what a great play there. As Tubu dies, Tomato has to head back home, back towards mid. They will kill off 1 life now of this Wraith King as Tomato walks back into this. Try and bring him down. Bryle eventually falls. Yo, Quincy crew are really playing well.
Quinn's definitely having a nice game on Viper. You can see why they picked this hero so early, why teams have banded against them in the past. Really understands it, is in the right spot, isn't overextending. He just mans up and fights here with that Dragonlance and DD and almost just outranging this Terrorblade.
Yeah, I don't think that Terrorblade really got that much damage out in that one, I mean, it feels like it keeps on being these like slight little weird skirmishy things where Quincy crew can like bait those small reactions out, and it's never like they don't have that hero to like start the fight on Undying, or at least they haven't been able to make that happen yet.
Yeah. To me, the real story of this game has been the supports. All right, check out the difference in these supports. Hoodwink versus Abaddon versus Clock and AA. This is, I feel like every time this Lesh has been going down the side lanes, he's getting caught by, Clockwork and then a BOTing in Viper. And then there's an AA blast to follow. Like Abaddon can't save the Leshrac when he gets ice blasted. And yeah, I think it just comes down to the draft. It's like, what did you get? You gave up such great popular supports in Clock and AA, and what did you get in return? Abaddon, Hoodwink, those are good heroes, but are they as good as these other two? I don't think so.
All right. Well, we'll see what change can come now, because they need something. Finishing off that mech now for Darkseer. BKB more than halfway done on the Wraith King.
It's the Leshrac BKB I really think they need. I mean, he has 6 deaths this game. You can see how difficult of a Lesh game it has been. They picked this hero, I think they picked it on 2-3, if I'm not mistaken. So obviously a ton of confidence with this hero. Both CC and Bryle played a lot. Really popular hero in pubs, no doubt. But yeah, maybe a little bit too early this hero, or maybe not the right bans against it.
Well, whatever the case is, it is definitely been struggling here so far, and needing to get that BKB finished as soon as possible and try and dodge away. And you can see, like, Quincy crew, this is what they're known for. They're known for shutting down the map. Like, this is the area where you can sort of live if you're Undying. And even then, like, can you really even live there? It's not super comfy.
I don't think Radiant's that weak. I mean, I think it's hard for Dire to just walk up into their triangle unless they've got a good ward or they're coming from smoke or something.
LOA?
Nah. Yeah, the next fight is going to be around Roche. Everybody has their BKBs. Okay, missed hook shot. Yawar's almost got his, but I don't think it's a huge difference maker for them. Leshrac is... he's still not there, honestly. Like, this is not good for him at all.
No. Struggle City for sure. Of course, once they get that timing, could change things up a little bit, but until that point, Quincy crew controlling a good portion of that map. They are going to smoke up now. Saberlight, Dubu's down bottom, actually. He's TPing down there. So they want to try and force this fight. They have a good ward. We'll spot MSS, but looking for the bigger kill onto Quinn, who's hiding away in the trees. So MSS... I mean, if he gets out also, dude, everybody's getting out. They don't even get the kill on the Clockwork. Oh, man. Oh, barely able to catch him with that bushwhack. I thought he was getting out for sure. But Saberlight able to secure that finish.
Take your outpost back, guys. Don't forget. Oh, this is my biggest pet peeve. You know, when my team just doesn't take the outpost back after you clear your jungle.
Right.
You're gonna, yeah, look, Purple's pinging it. He's like, guys, the outpost, hello. They're going to miss out on that 27-minute experience, probably even the 28-minute experience as well.
Yeah, that's the way that this is going. Wow, only had more deaths in 8 of his 639 pro games. This has been one of his worst ones. Struggle City for sure. You are trying to stand tall in front of everybody else, has that BKB, turns on to Dubu, says no more. You're out of here, mister.
Expecting Dubu to buy back here.
Oh, Dubu. Tomato, rather, gets his BKB off, has Thunder available, but they're already dead on Saberlight. They drop on Tomato. Oh, take a knee, Peasant. Everybody else trying to get out of there. Do they have the hookshot available? MSS is on the other side of the map. It doesn't matter. Damn, dude.
All right, I think we all gave Radiant's draft a fair chance, but this is just like, this is just proving how bad their lineup is. Like, they have no initiation, and their initiation is Abaddon just walking into the Roach pit and him getting gone on. That's how they want to start fights. But the thing is, like, Terrorblade, he as a hero, he needs to play with stuns and disables so that way he can connect on metamorphosis damage. But you can see, like, Dire is just kiting and just outranging and then just poking at Radiant, and they just have, you know, they have no stuns. Right? Imagine if this Lesh was a Puck, or this Doom was a, I don't know, a Sand King, or, you know, anything, a Tidehunter, something that can go in and start these fights. But really, they're all just sitting in the back, waiting for the right target to appear. But the problem is that right target never appears. They only see Wraith King in front. Who wants to go on him?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they didn't even pop his ulti in that last one, which, you know, it wouldn't have mattered even if he did.
They don't want to hit him. Like, they're gonna have to waste all of their BKBs in order to kill him once, and then he's gonna pop back up, and he's got a BKB himself.
Well, they come to try and take back over their jungle. They will get that outpost, so they'll have the 29-minute XP at the very least. And a smoke up now from Quincy crew right in the midst of all of them. They don't have their Darkseer for this fight. This could be okay. And BKB out. Saberlight, Tomato's now moving into position. Doesn't have Metamorphosis, though.
Ooh,
they
Doom
get the Doom onto Quinn, trying to bring him down.
Does have Aegis, though.
Running, yeah, I don't know if it's going to end up mattering. All right, Tubu's going to get the ulti pop. Double bushwhack on the other two. And again, Quincy crew, even when it looks like it could be a bad fight, it's a good fight.
Yes.
Because they know he didn't have meta.
Exactly,
Dubu
yeah.
drops.
No meta. Radiant really doesn't have a chance to fight. They're basically missing 16,000 net worth in this fight, so take that 6k advantage. At 16, you're going to get a one-sided fight. They did get the kill on Clockwork, which was nice, but it's just like a little too late. Is that kind of how it feels?
Tier 2 tower taken now, and the backup to secure the rest of the lanes. Tomato's going for this Scotty next, has the Chrysalis, like all these little damage-oriented items, but I just feel like he hasn't been able to do anything this game at all.
Yeah, I think he really needs... I mean, the problem... Scotty's such a good item, and you want to get it, but, I mean, you almost need, like, a basher this game or something, because you just have nobody to actually stun the target you're trying to kill.
Yeah.
He's got the Ancient creep, right? Devour. I guess he took the Devour can target Ancients, and he's got the Frenzy. But I think what he needs this game is just a Centaur stun.
Right.
And needs to initiate for his team. Because look, here he goes.
Well, he does have the Shard at the very least, and LOA is going to drop because of it. BKB out afterwards, Saberlight.
Forgot to
A blast
BKB.
gets blown up. Maybe a chance here, though. Oh, but they have a Tomato illusion. Get the hell out of there. MSS puts the collapse down. You're not going this way. Has to sunder the illusion of himself. But I don't know if it's going to be enough. Tomato going to drop. Can they get the kill onto Quinn at the very least? It doesn't look like it. Holy moly. That was a complete and total stomp of a fight again.
We might see some G's here pretty soon. I think Radiant's kind of give it, they gave it the college try, 2 or 3 times now, but these team fights are just not connecting at all.
Oh, and Yor just blinks in and demolishes that squirrel. Quinn's going to give him the tip, appreciating some greatness being shown here by the King. And Quincy crew looking to take this game at #1, not trying to repeat the sins of the past from last series, or last season rather.
They're not going to give us those exciting tiebreakers of last season?
Hey man,
It's
it's not exciting for them, it's scary.
It's fine. It's all for the fans, right?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we'll see, but it's going to have to come in game #2 because I think this one's pretty much over.
Yeah.
Maybe one last hurrah.
Doom last pick wasn't it. I was looking for that last pick hero to connect everything, and this hero doesn't check off any boxes that they needed.
Saberlight wants to get this kill. Quinn will get stunned up. A lot of damage out onto him, but has the Aegis for afterwards. He wants to die. He doesn't care. Go stand in that split earth.
Yeah, Aegis is... Okay, he's got 55 seconds left on it. Oh yeah, they're definitely going to stand here and finish off the Strax, I think.
Okay. Split earth going to connect. He's down low. Like he said, only a little bit of time left on the Aegis, but it might be enough. Saberlight just goes down in the duration of 1 stun. 12,000 gold lead now as all the racks will fall. Still need to take care of top tier 2 tower. And Tomato's just AFK farming right now, trying to get into that Scotty, knowing that they're going to give those up.
That's another sort of like result of this AA pick is like nobody wants to frontline for Radiant. So it ends up just being Doom, but he kind of needs to get a nice jump onto, one of Dire's heroes in order for him to be useful. But, if Dire ever sees Doom, they just go on Doom, and that's their win condition right there.
Yeah.
And then the other win condition is, don't just run into a Metamorphosis Terrorblade, right? And they've got Darkseer and, they've got mobility items to walk away if need be.
And Peter, it sounds like they have a lot of win conditions, if I'm reading you right.
Well, it's... Yeah, I mean, they basically need to, like, Doom Viper before BKB. It's kind of how I see it. I don't really... Or Darkseer.
Right.
They don't get either one of those guys, and I think it's impossible for them to win a fight. Even if they do get one of those guys, I think the fight is going to be incredibly tough at this point. AC now completed for Doom. Or, I'm sorry, for Wraith King. Doom's done picking up items this game.
Yeah, he's not getting that much more.
He's got buyback ready.
Oh, and they're going up high ground right now. Terrorblade, in the meantime, doesn't quite have that Scotty completed. He's sending his courier out to the opponent's secret shop to try and finish that one off, but it looks like Quincy crew going to give them a little bit of respect again for the moment and back away, play the map.
Yep. You've got 2 games. You got to win 2 games here, and then you're guaranteed top 8 at the major, which is huge. So take any chances, playing the clean man's Dota game, waiting for that second Roche most likely. They've already got 2 sets of racks. They can just hang out farm their opponents, play it slow.
That's what they want to do. So
Wraith King not afraid though.
Oh my god. Dubu, not again. He's just hiding. Don't come at me. Does have that Wraith King illusion, shooting damage back. They're kind of grouped up here in a dangerous spot. Need to be careful about that Darkseer jump in if they want to go for it. Saberlight down to low HP. They already killed the AA, and the hook shot in comes onto Tomato. Ywar going to give up his life, but it might not even actually happen. He actually lives through it, the armlet toggle. Now the turn back onto Bryle. They're going to buy back on the Doom, trying to stop this absolute destruction, but you can't stop the King. Doom onto Quinn. He doesn't care. GG is called. Quincy crew taking care of business here in the upstretch.
Yeah. Decent laning phase for Radiant, but on mid-game, just nothing really connected. They farmed some items, but nothing really led to them taking a good team fight, and Dire just kind of picked them apart. I think their lineup just made way more sense and had way more synergy amongst itself.
Yeah. I think there's like so many ways that it felt like they could start the fight on Quincy Crew, whether it was just like that, catch from Viper, like walking at him, or like you talked about MSS. He felt like one of the standout players for sure.
Clockwork was way too good of a hero this game. Either pick different heroes or ban it, I would say. And then also just better answer for this AA. I don't think Doom is what you need. I think the best way to beat AA is to beat him in lane. And they kind of just, they did aggro tri-lane, but they aggro tri-lane with such weird heroes that the tri-lane really just wasn't effective at all. Still got away with the good laning phase, but when they did finally hit their BKBs, which was their fighting condition, those fights, I think they just misexecuted and led to disaster.
Well, disaster for Undying, but jubilation for Quincy Crew. Quinn finishes 12-0-13 on that Viper. Just all around, really a solid performance. We'll see if they can come up with some answers for Undying in game number 2. Definitely felt like the draft was a bit of a concern, but also some play stuff in there as well. But for now, I'm going to head to a quick break. When we get back, the panel's going to break it all down. We'll see you then.